Alright, okay, it should be working now. I believe we're on the correct channel. Yes, we are. Okay, it's working. Hello everyone. Welcome to the live stream. This is a thing that I'm doing on the internet, on youtube.com. I have no idea why. I've just been non-stop, continually making videos for the past few days. Again, not entirely sure why, but it has been enjoyable nonetheless, so I believe it's a benefit to me in some way. Because, I've been real depressed for the last little bit, for the last bit of time, and making these videos has been immensely helpful to me just to get over whatever it was I've been feeling for so long. Like, yeah, it sucks feeling that way, but making videos and playing video games is something that has always seemed to be able to distract me sufficiently enough when I just feel terrible. If everything else went away, my purpose for living would still nonetheless be there, as long as the internet and YouTube existed, as long as videography in some fashion existed, I would be able to have a reason to keep on living, because I just enjoy making YouTube videos so much, and I enjoy playing video games so much. Like, I legitimately believe that working on these videos was the thing that kind of got me out of my depression and helped me come to terms with the depressive spell that I was in. And I mean, obviously I've still felt like shit, but I've been a lot happier with the breakup in general. Like, that has not been the sole cause of my depression anymore. Nowadays it's just more a chemical thing, as it always has been, but I've been a lot happier with that because I've become woke to the red pill. I've understood the truth that love is just a chemical reaction in your brain. And I mean, that is true. I've always known that, but now, like, I really understand the red pill philosophy behind that, you know what I mean, dude? It's something that just helps you come to terms with breakups more. I think it's something that helps you accept them more, when you understand that, yes, this is all just illogical bullshit. It's not you didn't lose something that was meant to be, etc., etc. You lost something that was a chemical reaction in your brain. It's the same as not popping Xans anymore. And so once you understand it in that context, and then you start looking logically at who the person is and assessing, okay, how would this have gone in the future anyway, it hurts a lot less, it just helps you. Fuck! Okay, I'm about to die. Fuck! Okay. Shit! Fuck! Okay, just gotta get this guy. Okay. Fuck! I'm focusing way too much on talking. Fuck! Shit! Okay, thank fucking God. Oh God, you have no idea how long I've been trying to kill that guy. Holy shit. But what was I getting to? Yeah, breakups. So, that video that I shared, I forget what it was called. It was called, like, I've moved on or whatever, or how to move on. Or, yeah, you can move on eventually. I think that was the name. The one I put out today. That video, like, a lot of it was largely inspired by the video that I linked, the conspiracy theory video, which, while that video was presented very comically, from my perspective, I mean, I know that conspiracy theory guy was making that video unironically, but the way that it was presented felt so comical to me. Regardless of that, the actual information in the video itself was good. Like, the information they delivered on the decreased levels of serotonin when you're in love, the information about oxytocin and all those other things, like, all of that was quality information. It's just that he presented it like a fucking autist. But, I mean, it was marketed to conspiracy theory heavy incels, so what can you do? It just so happens that I've found myself in that audience, you know? And I mean, it's the same with like YouTubers like Coltane. Like, I watch Coltane because he can make good arguments. It's just that a lot of his audience are MGTOWs, and you know, MGTOWs tend to be not the best people emotion-wise, but some of them can be pretty cool if you just hear out their arguments. Like, the same can be said with many conspiracy theory channels, and sometimes conspiracy theorists have facts behind the stuff that they say. Like, they can be pretty cool sometimes, and I believe that video was just one of those cases. Like, it's just a matter of being able to pull from all perspectives and being able to listen to all perspectives at the end of the day. I think that's something that's very important for growing your own sense of identity and worldview in general. Like, you have to take in everybody, or else, you know, you're not gonna know shit. You're just gonna become stagnant in your own ideals and then remain stuck there, which is not somewhere you want to be, because if you do that, you're not even cool. But regardless, yeah, it was a good video, and it did kind of show me the light, if you will. It didn't really show me the light. It was just stuff I already knew, but applied to a new context and with some extra information. But yeah, I do finally get it now. It is something that I can understand when applied to the context of, okay, I broke up, now let's look at this logically. Let's look at what this actually is. See, the problem is that so many people take like the love is just a chemical reaction ideology to its absolute extreme, and then what they say is, okay, I am never going to fall in love at all because it's like a drug. I don't think you should take it that far, because drugs are pretty cool. I mean, I don't know about you, but I like drugs. I like pleasure. Pleasure's good. The thing is when you take that pleasure to like, oh, it's just romantic love and it's this and that and it's magical, that's when you get fucking delusional. You have to acknowledge that love is what it is, while also being able to experience it and have a healthy relationship with it. The problem is that these people don't know how to look at facts while also understanding how to interact with those facts in a healthy way. The fact that love is just a chemical reaction should not make you refrain from falling in love. It should, however, give you a more healthy perspective on love itself and be able to help you come to terms with the fact that you're going to be heartbroken in the future and lessen the blunt of that heartbreak. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of context. It's just a matter of knowing how to understand these things under the right pretense. And it can be done. It's just that a lot of people are extremists, because in many ways I think that's the nature of humanity. You know, we like to join our groups. We like to say, okay, I think this, and so I'm going to identify with that. Not many people are as willing to necessarily tie their identity to a center point of view, not center point of view. Like, okay, if you say like, I'm a MGTOW and I believe that love is just a chemical reaction and I don't want to fuck, like that's an identity that you can grab onto. That is a distinct group. That's a distinct niche. And the same can be said with like the romantics, where they're like, yeah, you know, I'm super cool because I know poetry and went to an English major, right? But when I come in here and I say, yes, I acknowledge what the MGTOW is saying, and yes, I am also a little bit romantic, but also I understand both in their own distinct ways. Like, if I come in there with that more nuanced perspective, it lacks the simplicity of either one, right? With those two, you can just say, yes, this is easy to explain, here it is, right, look at it. And people like that aspect of simplicity, and they like being able to fit in their own little group. They like to be in that category, that box, and extremes allow for that. It's much harder to put yourself in a box when, you know, your views on it are much more nuanced. And so human beings, I think, just kind of inherently categorize themselves, because we're collectivistic animals. Like, we think about things in terms of what they are in relation to groups rather than just what they are in general. And so it's more likely for us to say, okay, look at this thing, I'm that extreme. But much of the time with humans it is much more complicated than that. Holy fuck, this is a lot of bullets. Jesus fucking Christ. Dear God. Muno, why did you get me into this game? This is too many bullets. Jesus. Fuck. Okay, let me check the chat. Live dashboard. Live stream is online. Okay. Everything is chemicals. We are just water and wait, decrease levels of serotonin in a relationship? That ain't right. Warning, conspiracy theory. People do not understand science. Do not trust them with anything scientific. They frequently misinterpret or make stuff up just to justify weird beliefs. This is a good game. I must mute though. Get that 110%, or is it 105? I can't remember. If you go really close, you do tons of damage. This isn't even the hard difficulty. Please, I know, right? Weak sauce. Hey, man. Hey, now. I'm just bad at video games, alright? As I'm not good at keeping up with a bunch of numbers, or not numbers, with a bunch of enemies and hits and stuff at the same time. Like, I play Toho, but I never said I was good at Toho, right? You know, my hand-eye coordination isn't what it used to be. There's bullets and stuff. That ain't it, Chief. I don't understand that. I don't get bullets. There's too many. That's what I'm saying. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. There's too many of them. I can't, look, I'm trying to talk right now, you know? I'm trying to do a live stream. How am I supposed to do it? How am I supposed to understand how to interpret such things while talking about morality and MGTOW and how I hate sex, you know? It's just, you don't understand the struggle of us PewDiePies out here just trying to make a meal. See, this is the part where it gets really frantic. Like, I can't handle this many things on screen at once. It's too much for my puny brain to handle. Jesus Christ. Okay. Fuck, I keep running into it. I keep, like... Okay, that's better. I lost all my bombs now, though, so I can't throw anything at him. It's so amazing. Rage, loss, sorrow. Can they really be healed? The pain, healing is not in this world. Okay, so I assume it's just Jesus fucking Christ. Where is it? Oh, jeez. Where are all these bullets coming from? Okay, I really have to focus on this game right now. There is no way I'm gonna be able to analyze something in my... Jesus. Okay. I hate having dead air on a live stream because, like, if I'm not constantly talking, it feels wrong, but I really have to focus on this game. Holy shit. Oh, fuck. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, jeez. Come on. Faster. Faster. Shoot him. Jesus Christ. Okay, how much more is there? How much more of this? I don't think I can survive so long. I mean, I have, like, full health, but still. I'm gonna die any minute now. Oh, fuck. I wish I had those... I used up, like, all the bombs that I had at the early point. So I... Oh, thank God. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm not good at this game by any means. The thing is that I'm just not good at video games. Like, I talk big game about how good at Pong I am, but that's Pong. This is modern technology we've progressed to here. This is dating sim bullet hell. You don't understand my struggle, alright? This is, you know, there's more to... Okay, cool, we can... Ooh, this place looks cool. I don't want to go to Omen Shore right now. I'm gonna go in this building right here. This looks really cool. Have I talked to all of these guys? Yes, I have. Okay. And I've been down here, haven't I? Okay, so I've been to all of these places. Let me ask the chat where I'm supposed to go, because they seem to have played this game, so maybe they remember. You just need to figure out which is the worst pattern of the screen, deal with the first at all costs, and then safely dispose of the rest. That should be easier. And I mean, it is the final boss. I really need to play the next one. Is there a third one? Just two, I think, but maybe. If you meant the second one, that is cool as hell, worth every penny. Oh, so that was the final boss. Okay. So I assume that's it then. I'm gonna just save and quit, because yeah, I assume if that's the final boss, then that's it then. What am I gonna play instead? Let's go to software, because I have the second game on here, Princess Remedy in a Heap of Trouble. It's just more difficult. I could play Akiba's Trip. Akiba's Trip is garbage. Let's play it anyway. Who cares? I like the anime of Akiba's Trip way more than the video game. Like, hands down, the anime is like a solid like 7 out of 10. Like, it's a good show. I enjoyed it quite a bit, but the game, it's not good. It's bad. Why is this not loading, you fucking piece of shit? Self-updater, shut the fuck up. Let's see. Combat mode. I think this will work, right? I don't want to have to put all this stuff in. This looks like too much effort. Right? I'm not doing that. What should I play? Chat. Tell me what I should do on youtube.com. What you need is to pick a boyfriend and talk to them, then you'll dance and be happy forever. Cool. I have... are you referring to the video game? Yeah, this is... What should we... you know what? Let's do the classic. Let's do the classic right now. Let's play Pong. This is a meme. This is what I'm known for. I'm known as the greatest player of Pong ever to exist. There is no one who has reached my level at this. Why is it not working? Are none of these working? Is it because I have all of these things to save? Ah, whatever. You know what? Let's not even play a video game. What's going on with you people? Do you have things to ask me? Oh shit, plot heavy game. I know, right? I know. It's I'm just going to be dealing with the cutscenes so much that you guys can't even pay attention to what's going on, because Pong is just so intense story-wise. Yes, Princess Remedy ends with you talking to anyone you want and accept to date them. Then you have a dance-off for some reason DDR thing. That's pretty cool. But yeah, do y'all have any questions for me? Anything going on? Because I can only sit here and talk off the top of my head for so long without eventually dying out. I mean, I can talk for a really long time, but I usually need people to bounce off of. I like it when people give me stuff to talk about, because whenever, like, people will say, you know, okay, Outlaw, I'm interested in you for this reason, now talk about it. It's always interesting to me, because people's perceptions of you, versus what my perception is, ends up creating, like, different questions than I would ask myself, because the image that I present, while genuine, is interpreted by different people differently and all that. How do you like walking outside? I like it quite a bit. I find it really therapeutic to do. It's nice, like once you get past the fact that the sun can hurt, to an extent, it's really nice just to take a walk outside, just to take a breather, because it really helps you just get your mind settled. It helps you just let everything decompress, you know? And I generally like landscapes, and I like stuff that looks outside-ish, but it just so happens that all the states that I've been in were fucking boring scenery-wise. Virginia is, like, okay scenery-wise, but I'm actually moving to Maine soon, all the way up north. Maine is, like, by New York and Canada. I may move to Maine. We're not sure. It's just a matter of convincing my sister or not to go there, but if we go to Maine, the scenery is going to be much better, and I'm just going to be walking outside all the fucking time. So, I already go, like, every day now, just for exercise reasons, and it is nice. Like, it's nice to just, again, let your body move and to relax. I always rambled about how the sun sucks, but this summer I loved everything about it, especially the pain, heat burn, and exhaustion. I like pain. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Like, going outside and putting yourself through pain via the sun is far better than, like, sitting at home and cutting yourself or something, because at least in this sense, the pain is natural. It's a pain that's meant to be inflicted upon you by nature, that you eventually build a callus for, that you are meant to by nature. With cutting yourself, it's, you know, it's just weird, you know, it's something that culture has built, you know, it's a weird psychological phenomenon. So, I think that is a healthy way to deal with pain. Like, if you are someone who enjoys putting yourself in pain to some extent, then finding a way to take those urges out naturally is going to be much better. You know, whether naturally be going outside and just being in the sun and getting heat burn, or whether it be lifting really heavy stuff, or whatever need be, there are ways to get out those urges in a productive fashion. So I'm glad you found that, you know? I'm glad you found something that works for you. I don't actually get in that much, like, physical pain from heat burn. I tend to mostly just go outside and like, get a headache from the sun, but that's been less of a problem since I take rizatriptan. Rizatriptan makes it to where I barely ever get headaches. I really am not a cutter type, though, just a masochist. I gained a lot of pleasure out of summer, mostly the sexual type. Oh, I see. I'm also a masochist, so I understand. If you look at my BDSM test results, it was like 100% submissive, 100% masochistic. I'd imagine it probably varies for you more, but yeah. I enjoy having pain inflicted upon me. It feels cool. I imagine for me it's probably a product of, like, psychological trauma from when I was younger, like, just a way to deal with it. I have honestly no idea. It's just something I have to be careful about, I'd imagine. It's interesting to derive a form of sexual pleasure out of the summer. That is something I have not heard of, like getting burnt from the sun to the point of it being arousing. That is, I'm sure that's like a fetish that exists somewhere, but that's never one I've heard of. Very, very interesting. What's going on Twitter? I'm gonna shill this live stream on Twitter, so I can get... No one reads my Twitter anymore, I don't think. Like, I think my Twitter is just something that people generally speaking don't pay attention to. But I post my videos there anyway. like, I've gotten more followers on there, but I've gotten far less likes and retweets than I used to get, which is strange to me. Like, how does your follower base go up while your likes also dwindle at the same time? The summer was also extremely aesthetic to the point of making me cry many times I went outside. It was my best hedonistic experience. Oh, that's great. Yeah, like, I think the summer, depending on what part of the world you live in, can be really, really nice and aesthetic. Just the heat and, going out to explore nature and feeling cool and yeah, that's good to hear. I'm glad that you were able to feel very intense emotions in that sense. Being able to experience any emotions sometimes for me is a feat, just because I get so depressed that, like, that desire for a really intense emotional experience is something that I'll just seek for a while. And I do cry a lot personally, though that crying comes more out of a sense of sadness a lot of the time. But when something makes me so happy that I cry, it's very hedonistic for me. It's very pleasurable. So I definitely know the feel, and I'm glad. I'm glad summer was able to give that feeling to you. It's almost 8 a.m. here. I woke up at 12 midnight, like 12:30 at midnight, and I've been awake ever since. Have no idea why. My sleep schedule has just been all over the place. Like, I've been going out to walk in the daytime. I've been awake to do that, but I've also somehow seemingly have been able to stay awake all night as well when everybody is asleep. So it's like I have the best of both worlds, right? I go out for a walk when, everybody is waking up in the daytime, and I stay awake while everybody is asleep so I can use the kitchen in the abuse shelter to where no one bothers me. And it's the best thing because I can sit and I can record videos and I can live stream, and, on the off chance that I actually try to look at porn, I can do that as well without anyone bothering me. It's great, I can just sit around and do whatever with everybody asleep. I absolutely love the isolation of that, while also, getting out to go out and talk to people in the real world in the daytime. So it's a time that really works for me, It was also tons of nostalgia as I spent the summer in my hometown. After 4 years we moved, and I started high school. As a kid, I talked so badly about it, and now I realized it's the most beautiful place on earth. Hell yeah, dude. I wish I felt that way about the hometown I grew up in. I just grew up in like a generic southern town. But I'm glad you were able to find solace in, in something quaint like that. I'd imagine in Europe it's probably, it's probably more comfy. In America, there's just a lot of rednecks and broken down homes and stuff, and just trees that generally don't look good. So, I would imagine hometowns have more of a comfy aesthetic in the Czech Republic. By the way, for any viewers of this live stream who don't know, Muno is from the Czech Republic. He's a frequent viewer of mine, so that's why I remember that. America, though, has the most sublime, gigantic sights. I would disagree with that. We have a lot of big stuff, but I wouldn't necessarily call it good. Like, the big things that we have here, like Mount Rushmore, it's like, okay, yeah, it's a bunch of fucking white guys who I don't care about engraved into stone. Who cares about stone? Like, there's some cool mountains in America. The mountains here are cool, you can go to Smoky Mountain, etc. mean, those places are nice, but I could just go to Mount Fuji. That's better. There are better mountains in other countries. Like, I don't know. As someone who has lived in America all my life and now by this point has traveled through most of America on bus, it's something that I am not impressed by at all. The thing is that with America, most of the places look the same. So, if you go to like South Carolina, for example, and you travel all the way up to Ohio, to Oregon, to Washington, not DC, regular Washington over where California is, all the way up to Maine and Vermont and all those places. If you just go all over the map, right, Oklahoma, Texas, eventually you will realize that most of America is more or less the same, with very minute differences happening in each state. So I'm much more into like the individual aesthetics of places, and I feel that countries have, foreign countries have much more of a distinct identity to them than one state in the United States might have. The United States as a whole just feels very samey, and so it bores me to tears having always lived here. Yeah, there's some big stuff, but the big stuff all looks the fucking same. Chechnya is Chechnya is what do you... I don't know what this word is. Let me look this up. Oh, okay. Okay, now I get what you mean. The Chechen Republic, commonly referred to as Chechnya, is a federal subject of Russia. Okay. Oh, Chechnya. I should have known what this was because I've heard this name many times reading about the Soviet Union. But yeah, I don't know what you meant by this though. What does this mean? Is the geographical and historical region of the Balkan Peninsula, Bulgaria, Greece. Okay. I mean, that interesting statement? I'm not entirely sure why you said that, but okay. I mean, it is there. It is located in that area. But yeah. I would really like to travel. That's something that I want to do in my future videos, like when I get older, is just go out and travel. In a year and a half from now, I'm gonna be 18. I've wanted to travel since... Shut the fuck up, YouTube notifications. I've wanted to travel since I was like 5 or 6. It's been a deeply rooted passion of mine for many, many years, so I'm going to, I'm going to go out there one of these days. Hopefully as soon as I turn 18. Like, I want to have disposable income just to get the fuck out of here, because honestly, I am done with America, dude. Like, I don't want to be here. So that's going to be nice. It's a year and a half isn't that far away, so I think it's going to be nice to finally get out of here. Oh, God. I had something I was going to say. I forgot what it was. Oh, yeah. Vietnam is like big on my list right now. I really, really want to go to Vietnam. Chich, as in it's pronounced with two... Let me look closer to this. T. I don't know what that other character is other than T, which in English orthography is ch. Okay. These things... Okay, let me explain. I am retarded, so these things typically cannot be communicated to me very well in text. I apologize. I'm used to hearing things, so usually when I hear things I pick up on them that way. Is the IPA sign for the sh sound. Oh, okay. Or for the sh sound. How's my torrent doing? Okay. I saw Digi and May mentioned Giant Robo, the OVAs, on their new Let's Play, and I forgot that that existed, so I wanted to download it. It looks like something that would legitimately be like my favorite anime. I got big into phonology over the past year. Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. Like, I remember, you used to, oh no, don't apologize, I don't mind. I think it's an interesting tidbit of information regardless. But, yeah, I remember, you used to have this blog on Blogspot that you linked me back before you went by Moon O. In your in the old comments you used to leave, you sent me this blog where, like, you had talked about kanji, I believe, and you had, like, a bunch of stuff about phonology there. Of course, the blog by this point, I believe, has been deleted, but, I do remember reading through that, so I've always known that you've been kind of like a technical guy when it comes to... Oh, no, that wasn't you? Huh. I remember someone from the Czech Republic named Period, which you said was you, had a blog on Blogspot about kanji. I might have just hallucinated that, though. Okay. But yeah, I could easily just have like a false memory, but I thought you linked me that at one point, that you had a blogspot about kanji, but in any case, yeah. The connection in my head was made that you cared about like technical aspects of words and stuff. Man, I want to get the fuck out of this country. Like, I just want to record vlog, because I've talked a lot about how, you know, I've been going outside more, and I've been, you know, doing all these normie-centric things as a non-hikikomori, as a non-shut-in, and I want to use that newfound skill to be applied towards videos. You know, how exciting would it be if you see Old Outlaw, Old Joseph react to the current events in other countries, to the, you know, to the outside world, to exploring such things within the framework, within the mindset of being an anime YouTuber. So I think I think it would be interesting to be like the first anime YouTuber in Vietnam. Can I even be referred to as an anime YouTuber at this point? I have no idea, but I think it would be interesting to do that. You know, I just like vlogging outside in general would be cool. The issue has always been that the outside world in any place that I've lived in has never been that interesting. Culpeper, Virginia is like alright in terms of the way things look, but it's not the best. I also started to build my own language that would be perfect and the most efficient, and realized it's impossible, so I just combined Japanese with Latin and my favorite phonemes. Huh, cool. That sounds like way more effort than I would ever go through for something only I would look at, but I respect that a lot. You are anime as an anime culture aesthetic as interpreted through a Western meme aesthetic lens. Yeah, I would agree with that, because, like, I do use a lot of mimetic images from, like, image boards and stuff. I make frequent references to image boards, you know, I say, you know, stuff like morality fags and stuff like that in my videos. You know, I use a lot of anime characters within my videos. I discuss shows from time to time, like I'll bring them up, and things like that, but I don't like talk about anime very much. Like, most of what I talk about is just me being a person, and then also I happen to be an anime fan and indulge in that culture and that culture's aesthetic in general. So, I mean, you could call me anime, but I would say that I'm more of like the otaku aesthetic, the cult of personality that is otaku. Oh, hi, Ice Killer. It's nice seeing you here. I don't think me and Ice Killer have ever interacted once, but if I recall correctly, he's followed my channel for like a long time. So it's nice seeing you here, Ice Killer. Welcome to the stream. But I think I think I certainly identify a bit more with like NEET and hikikomori culture than anime culture necessarily. And I mean, they do like coalesce. They do converge quite a bit. So I guess they fit together. And I've kind of gone a little bit away from hikikomori culture by this point. So I guess you could say I'm more of like NEET Chan culture and stuff like that. Even though I'm not as overt about it as some other people. I don't even remember when I started following your channel. I don't remember either. I feel like you've been here for a while, but I don't remember. It's just I've kind of always seen you around. Like I know you followed my Twitter like 8 months ago, I want to say, my old Twitter that got deleted. So you've been around. How's Vietnamese, if you know anything about it? Most of the stuff I knew about Vietnamese, I don't remember anymore. I've needed to study again, because the thing that I do with a lot of languages is that I get into it and then I stop much of the time. So, I do know that it's easier than some other languages because it doesn't have, like gendered stuff the way that Spanish does, and it has some other easy aspects of it. There was an article that I read, it said like why Vietnamese is one of the easiest languages, which is wrong. It's not one of the easiest. It's very hard because it's a tonal language, but wait, no, it was why Vietnamese is easier than you think or whatever, and it just basically explained how Vietnamese has parts about it that are more consistent and easier than like French or Spanish or something. Yeah, I'm the lurking type of guy. I'd imagined, 'cause I've seen you deep lore around my content. Like, you've friended me on Rate Your Music, which is an account of mine I feel like barely anyone goes to. By the way, Ice Killer has like one of the best Rate Your Music pages on the planet, solely because he like gives all the popular 6ix9ine songs a 10, which is something I respect immensely. But how the fuck do you give Bebe a 10, nigga? Like, what are you on? But yeah, like I'd always imagined you were just a lurker because I've seen you around in deep lore areas. Also, any thoughts on Japanese? Last language question, I swear. I mean, you can ask as many language questions as you want, I just might not be able to answer them sufficiently. I think Japanese sounds really cool, but is very difficult. I love the way it sounds. Like, out of any language, if I were to talk about liking the way it sounds the most, I would say Japanese, and also probably Russian, but I don't think I'll ever learn that. It sounds cool. I like the aesthetic of their words. I've listened to that song so many times, my man. How? Like, it's a good song, but come on, like it's like a solid 6 out of 10. There's no way. There's no way that you can listen to that song that many times. I gave I Love It by Lil Pump and Kanye West a a 10 on Rate Your Music. That was a moment I was not proud of. I've been learning hiragana myself. It's pretty fun. Yeah, hiragana was pretty fun. I tried to learn it with the book Remembering the Kana, but it just made like the process of learning hiragana way more complicated than it should be, to be honest. Like, remembering the kana didn't really work very well for me, so I've found other resources to use, linked by a friend and commenter of mine who messaged me on Mal, and he gave me this like big link of like Japanese resources, which was good. Arabic Ks though, I know nothing about Arabic and I never will. It's really fun to sing along to, okay? Yeah, I know the feeling. There's a lot of, like, Bank Account by 21 Savage. I constantly sing that song, even though it's not that great of a song, but it's like it gets in your head, right? it's one of those things where it's like it keeps you keep coming back to it. Don't be afraid of kanji, by the way. It's even more fun and pain than learning kana. Yeah, kanji is something that I was afraid of for a long time, but I've found enough resources by this point that like it doesn't seem that difficult. This I was linked on Discord. I was linked on Discord this like resource where it's like you learn the kanji over the course of 4 months or whatever. I don't remember. I don't remember if that's necessarily valid or not, but yeah, I gotta find the link, but it was supposed to be like an um, insanely good link for kanji. I just went to the JP DJT thread on 4chan and followed the guide. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Holy shit. I need to look at that thread as well, because it has a lot of great resources in it. So thank you for reminding me that. I'm gonna literally look that up after this live stream. You should download Kanji Tomo before Java dies. Java's dying? I was not in the loop about this. I had no idea. Um, on the topic of 4chan, holy shit, like, I love it when chans just have, like, stickies of these, like, links and, guides on how to do stuff right. Like, the one I always tend to go to is the Fitboard on 4chan, like, their sticky that has the guides, for, like, how to get fit correctly and stuff. It's so helpful. And there's so many things like that are on Chan. Or if you go like on 8chan and you go to the BIFAG guide or bifag.mo, like it's just there's so many detailed resources that these niche communities create, and I love it. That's one of my favorite things about Chan culture is that they have these really detailed guides. And it's some of the best resources that you can get for learning on the internet out there. Java will get the plug pulled next year. Oh no, that's sad. Then the same thing's happening with fucking Flash. I wish these people would just make their shit open source. Like, when Flash dies, so much stuff is not even gonna work anymore. Like, Newgrounds is gonna be dead, all the Flash games are gonna be dead. Just make your shit open source. Why do you have to pull the plug on it like this? Why do you have to let all of this media die? Like, a great part of the 2000s was just archived through Flash. Like, culture was embedded and instilled in Flash. So, like, if that goes away, all of that history is going to be gone. Make it fucking open source, you cowards. I highly recommend finding some comic artists on Twitter and Pixiv too, by the way. A lot of comedic shorts out there that are easy to understand and read in bites. Okay, cool. Yeah, that should make the process of learning to read much easier. And if you want, I have Nichijou and Yotsubado Raws. Okay, cool. Cool. Are you seeding them on Nya, I would assume? But in the meantime, there is a Discord group that's dedicated to preserving all those games. Flashpoint, I think. Oh, very clean. I've looked around a little bit, but I haven't found anything to that effect yet. So it's cool that does exist, because thank God someone is archiving these in any way that they can, because this media shouldn't die out. By the way, have you heard of Article 13 and how fucked I am and will be getting a giant fine for translating? Isn't that great? I'm not seeding them, but I can upload them somewhere if you want. Just don't tell the EU. Yeah, I was the VPN that I was using earlier was routing through Finland, and then I was like, oh fuck, the EU's gonna get me. But yeah, that's, oh god, the EU is just such a terrible totalitarian. I'm not even gonna get into it. I hate the EU. I would rather have like the AFD party in Germany and like Le Pen in France and stuff win just to get rid of the fucking EU. Like, Oh God, I hate them so much. But yeah, if you can upload them somewhere, I would appreciate that a lot. There's still one more vote, but I doubt it won't pass. Oh God, it's so sad. It is so sad that that's happening. Like, it's just every single ounce of freedom that we can possibly have. You just gotta drain it out until it's gone, you know? This is again, this is yet another class issue where like, the workers and the peasants of the world, they need to be, they need to be vocal about this, and they need to take their power back through using things like VPNs and Tor, and just working on ways to circumvent these things that exist through the internet. And I mean, doing illegal things makes a big statement. Piracy encourages these big companies to change the paradigms that are in place. I'm glad we elected the pirate party that isn't doing shit. Oh boy, I'm glad we have such an efficient democracy and national global cooperation for the greater good. Not only that, all the proposed parts that should make it better and more ethical and less censorial, they unanimously scratched them out. Oh God. I didn't even know the pirate party was doing well in the Czech Republic. That I thought like the pirate party didn't do shit in any country. But oh God. Yeah, the Europe right now is just in absolute agony. Anywhere that has the EU, don't go. Norway's pretty good because like Norway isn't in the EU, and every time they try to vote for a referendum to get them in, they always say no because the people know what's up about that. So, like, Norway has relations with the EU, but luckily they are not in the EU, so their resources and, their entire government isn't basically turned into a fucking puppet state of Germany. So, I mean, it's not the best situation you guys have out there, and it's unfortunate. Norway is in NATO, however, so it's kind of like ugh, America, but it is still far more free than everywhere else in Europe. So I mean, and plus Norway has like the best or some of the best internet in the entire world. So if you want to go somewhere nice in Europe where you don't have to worry about stupid meme bans, go to Norway. It's a cool place. I've sort of thought about going to Norway in the past. I've tried learning Norwegian. I don't like the language, so I didn't continue. But, and plus I generally don't care about the law. So, the fact that these laws are being passed means nothing to me. So, I'm going to Vietnam. It's illegal to even use a VPN over there. They just got elected the parliament this season, and they aren't doing shit. To be fair, they just did what every party did because one party got the majority vote in every region, but then they collaborated with that party. Oh boy. Wait a minute. So are they the majority in parliament, or what's going on? Like, how much in parliament are they? Or something I don't really know. I'll just be forever voting for parties that never get elected for lulz. Yeah, you gotta vote for the Communist Party of the Czech Republic. You gotta vote for the Marxist-Leninist Action Party, or whichever one it is. The ones that are obviously never going to be voted for by anyone by anyone under their 50s, who just want to go back to the good old days. I'm gonna go get a water, so I'll let you people type. That is something really cool about the Czech Republic, or interesting at least, maybe not cool, is that like the people in like their 50s and 60s always vote for like these communist parties, especially farmers, but like the young people are like super capitalistic. You see the same thing in Russia now. Is like all of the old people are like voting for the Communist Party, but then like young people are like carrying copies of Capitalism and Freedom by Milton Friedman. Communists aren't doing shit though, and not really that socialist. Yeah, I mean, if you're in electoral politics, a lot of the time you've just gone completely revisionist, because it's not like any of these parties can actually enact any real change through the framework of parliamentary democracy. So, you know, there's nothing that they can really do. You know, to overcome a system is to have a violent revolution. You know, to call yourself a socialist nowadays basically means nothing, because being a socialist is just welfare capitalism to many of these people. It's just, okay, let's tax a whole bunch of people and then commit more acts of imperialism in the third world, you know, that to give our people at home free stuff. You know, that's what socialism is. Collective ownership of the means of production, not socialism, you know. It's about taxes, guys. Even though taxation doesn't exist in a socialist society, but let's just look over that. You know, I always go back to the quote from Stalin. Social democracy is the objectively moderate wing of fascism. Take that as you will. I'm more radical than most other people, I would imagine. There is plenty of young socialists too, but they are too young and revolutionary to really take seriously yet. Also, CSSD is a social democrat, democratic socialist party. They attend internationals, so that's another party. I mean, you know, people who are willing to work with actual communists are usually good. But young people aren't really doing anything. They're kind of just like, you know, they have revolutionary spirit, right? They're angry, but they're not directing their anger towards anything. I feel like if there was better leadership within these groups, then there would be much more action. You know, if we could take the young people and if we could take the old people to get them to come together, then, you know, there would be some form of action. But strong leadership would not come to power in the first place without massive upheaval within the populace, right? If there aren't people who are upset in the country about something, if something hasn't been majorly fucked, then people are not going to organize, right? You know, they're not going to create so like, yeah, like if there isn't a massive problem within the country, then there's not going to be any revolutionary spirit within the environment. And so if that's the case, then you know, you can't really do anything, right? And so you know, you're not gonna get like a Fred Hampton these days, like the guy who you know, was killed by the FBI with the Black Panthers. Because if you look at what Fred Hampton was doing, he was like organizing, like, you know, former like gangs and stuff, and like really getting them to look at class struggle, really getting them to look at poverty as the root of the problem. And people organized around Fred Hampton, like they thought of him as this inspiring figure, you know. And we don't have anyone like that anymore, because like the material conditions that cause inspiring leaders like Fred Hampton to come about are just not there. The inspiration for people to come about is just not there right now. And so, I mean, people want change, but they don't want it enough. In order for them to want it enough, there needs to be blood on someone's hands, and that blood needs to be visible out in the open. There need to be people screaming and crying for food in order for a revolution to take place. And in the first world, as long as they keep robbing other countries of their wealth, as long as we keep robbing other countries of their resources, there aren't going to be material conditions that cause a revolution. But that's just my take on the issue. Then there is the National Socialist Party, older than Hitler, actually socialist, but their rhetoric seems a little bullshit. It's, we are totally not Marxists, you guys. Yeah. Like, I don't know much about that party, because I don't know much about Czech politics, but yeah. Like taking... It's probably, I would imagine it's like taking nationalism and then applying that to a more socialistic framework, I assume. I dig your hair, my man. Hey, thank you. I don't tend to get very many compliments on my hair, so I appreciate that. It looks very strange. Most people don't have hair that looks like mine. It's very messy. I don't tend to take care of it, but I appreciate that. Anyway, people are starting to wake up in the house, so I'm gonna get out of here. This was a really fun stream. Thank you to everyone who came out. Thank you for listening to me ramble on about esoteric bullshit that no one cares about. I appreciate it. I'll see you all later, and yeah, hopefully you guys come around again for the next one.